Welcome back to episode number 17 of the Pick and Roll podcast. I'm Campbell.
I am Max.
And we are, of course, your hosts. So I think this episode is coming out before
last week's.
Before last week's, because unfortunately we've been a bit busy lately. Trying to keep up with it, but studies and all that and work, etc. But
it's just unfortunate that our lives sort of align with the NBA playoffs in a bad way. Like the important stuff in our lives is during the NBA playoffs.
Yeah, but we'll get back to it. So we're missing
time, but
we've made the time today to try and talk about. So pretty much today we're going to cover the NBA Finals, the first two games, and how we think the rest of the series would go. The Porzingis injury and a couple other topics, and then some games which should be fun. Some new games, perhaps even. But first up, we want to go through the first. Let's start with game one. What were your initial thoughts on game one?
Game one made me completely flip what I was thinking about the series going into it. I thought that Dallas would very much put up a fight against them, especially because I thought Porzingis wasn't going to be super serviceable. I thought he was going to be important, especially defensively, but nobody knew that he was going to be as impactful as he was. He scored, I believe it was 20 in the first game.
Yeah.
61%
not that many minutes. I think it was 20 on 21 minutes.
20 on 20 minutes.
20 on 20 minutes.
Which is incredible for your first game back in a month. When the Mavericks
were, the Celtics kind of cruised most of the game, but Porzingis was the fire early that got the Celtics going for sure off the bench and really ignited the crowd to get into the game. Shooting his patented mid-range over the small defenders just made it look easy out there.
It's just undefendable, especially if he gets a mismatch of any sort. If there's a guy 6'5" or under, well, even 6'8" and under, he can just shoot over them. So it's just ridiculous when you're shooting that well. I think the Boston Celtics spaced really well around him. And we've seen that all series where Boston really hasn't run a lineup that isn't capable of having 5 out at all times, which really opens everything up, opens driving lanes for Brown and Tatum. Defense has to collapse, and there's always a shooter out there that can hit shots and have been hitting shots, except in the second game where neither team shot well from three, but we'll get into the second game in a bit. I'll hold my horses, but Mavs scored 89 points in that first game, and the Celtics scored 107. So yeah, I thought definitely that it was going to be a lot closer than it was. And then after the first game, I got a little bit carried away, and I made my prediction to all of my friendship group.
Are we saying what it is?
Yeah, I'm happy to say what mine is because better to say it now than later. But I think it's going to be a sweep. You might say that I'm getting carried away, and I might be getting carried away, especially with Porzingis going down now, going into game 3. The Mavericks are at home for 2 games, so anything could happen. But
I think they at least get 1, hopefully 2. Make it competitive. We didn't come all this way to have 2 coasting conference finals and then just a sweep in the finals. It's ruined what was such a great first couple of rounds, I think, of the playoffs. But so hopefully it's close as a neutral fan in the situation.
Definitely as a neutral fan, but I do have money on it. I made a bet with one of my friends.
Yeah, so I remember I was there.
I think it's $50. So, the stakes are kind of high. But what did you think about game 1? Initial thoughts? You watched the whole game?
I did. I've watched both games, the whole games.
Yeah.
So I've been locked in. And yeah, it pretty much went the way that you would have expected, except for the fact that obviously Luka is gonna be Luka. He's gonna score 30 points a night in the playoffs. And the Celtics really showed their diverse scoring lineup. Like we said, Porzingis, Jaylen Brown. Jason Tatum hasn't even really got going so far this series, really at all. He's still a favourite to win Finals MVP. But it just goes to show that they don't need him. But especially
don't need him?
No, that's poor choice of
I'm
words.
just trying to save you. Yeah.
Poor choice of words. They can incorporate different players to step up on any given night, and obviously Game 2 showed that as well. But the main thing I drew from it was the defense, because 89 points on a very potent offense in Dallas is crazy, and especially Kyrie. Not getting good shots, not getting good looks. I think he shot 33%. 31% in that game.
12 points.
Being clamped. The crowd as well. Kyrie
Booing
sucks. Booing in every single possession without fail.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as you can go Kyrie, as a mentally solid player, like it'll get to anyone getting booed every possession of every game that you're playing. So that's again why I think they could steal a game at home. I think, without those outside factors, I think it does play into effect. Yeah, Kyrie couldn't get going. We saw PJ Washington and Derek Jones Jr. couldn't get going either. It was really relying on Luka, but also the defense in the passing lane prevented Luka from playmaking as much and getting assists. I think he had...
In the first game?
Yeah.
One assist.
Yeah,
of 6 opportunities.
30, 10 and 1, I think. Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, if you're stopping him from... Yes, he's going to score, but if you also stop him from creating and playmaking, then you're pretty much stifling most of the Mavs' defense, especially, the lob threats and the players who are more efficient but take less shots, like Daniel Gafford, for example. But yeah, those are my main thoughts.
Yep. So I think the Boston game plan going into game 1 was very well constructed. I think it was warranted that they were given a week to come up with a game plan like that, which obviously worked because they cut off Luka's ability to play make and also made it hard for him. I mean, as hard as you can for Luka, especially with such a good defensive lineup that Boston have, so switchable. But basically their game plan was just cut off all routes for him in terms of passing, just make him play one-on-one. If he gets the bucket, then they'll settle with that because it's likely going to be a 2. And Boston have been so ride or die with 3-pointers that they play the math game. That's what everyone says about Missoula. They play the math game. As long as you can get up more 3-pointers than the other team, then you're likely to win. And that's what they've been sort of going on the entire season.
And we saw even, I don't want to get into game 2 yet, I'll let you finish, but we also saw that thing continue in game 2, even when they didn't shoot well. Yeah, the game still ended up in their favour because of the methodology behind their game.
Yeah. When Luka did get opportunities to play make, I mean, he only gave his teammates the opportunity 6 times, so there were only 6 available assists that he could have had that game. No lobs, which was crazy because obviously the Dallas Mavericks have been the best lob team really, like, I want to say ever. I don't have the stats to back it up, but in the playoffs they've lived off of lobs, and it's been the reason that they've won all the games that they have. When they were limited to just was it 1 in the first game or was it 1 in the previous 2 games? Anyway, it's like either 0 in the first game or 1, but they had 53 lobs in the first 3 series, which is the most that any team has ever accumulated over 3 series. So just cutting that off completely was so important for the Boston Celtics. And that came from just great anticipation and intercepting passes, like you said. Derek White, I don't know how tall he is. I think he's like 6'4", would you say? He looks a lot taller on screen.
Yeah, 6'4",
I know he's
6'5".
He's not super tall, but he deflected like a number of lobs and just read them really well. He was off ball. It's not like he was defending either the roll man or...
the 1 through 5 can defend.
Yeah.
It's insane. And people before the series, they were saying the East was easy. They did have an easy run, which is true. But I think most fans knew this was going to happen, that the Celtics were definitely the favourites heading into the series, and that is for a reason. And that reason is, their offense behind the threes that they put up, and also the defensive capabilities of their starting five.
So another thing I also want to bring up is just the fast breaks as well. I wasn't super switched onto this. I was looking earlier and I saw that neither team was really pushing it on the break whatsoever. There was a site called Cleaning the Glass that I have a subscription to because I like looking at all those
He's a stats man.
numbers. And compared to all the teams in the playoffs, they're 3%, as in like, so 100% is the team that gets on the break the most. They're 3%. Both teams are around 3 and 7% for fast break points or fast break opportunities this series. So that's like only a few fast break opportunities a game. So I don't know. I wasn't switched on, as I said, when I was watching it, whether Boston's transition defense was just really good and they just cut off their ability to pass. They just got back really quickly, or I'm not really sure what happened because I saw a lot of turnovers. I think I saw there was a number where it was, I think 16% of Dallas's in like possessions this entire series has ended in a turnover. So that's one in 6 offensive opportunities and have ended up in a turnover.
Definitely, you can definitely feel that watching it.
Yeah, I wonder if the fact of the fast break is like the amount of fast breaks that have opportunities that have been created is because it's the NBA Finals and teams are scared to turn it over. Because obviously, if you're throwing long passes, then I mean the reward is there, but also it's very risky.
More risky, but also in game 2, we saw Luka make a few careless passes, trying to just create something because nothing was really working. You saw him do like a behind the back and Jason Tatum stole it and like a cross court. So I think there's different elements to the turnovers, but I think, forcing them early, the Celtics forcing them early, it creates a trend that can continue throughout the whole game. You feel like you can't get any passes going and you have to be extra when sometimes it's not the way to go.
Yeah, it's a balance of wanting to keep an offensive possession. Like you don't want to just throw it away on the break, but also the reward is there where it might be worth it. But then you get into it and you're in a Boston crowd. I mean, the pressure's already there. Are you making a stupid decision by making this long pass?
Or is it a highlight? I think depends.
I'm going to keep a very keen eye on it in the third game because I think that if the Mavs can create as many opportunities as possible, because I think they're in the top like 25 percentile in the playoffs of fast break points just in any regular, like in the past 3 series. But this series, they've just not generated any fast break points. So I'd be interested to see why they aren't, or if they've got that in mind and they decide to push it more. So, but I think just the more easy points that you can get when you're the Mavericks, the better. So do you want to go into game 2 now?
Yeah.
I think that's enough time. So, game 1.
Did you tune into game 2?
Yeah, both games. I did miss the first quarter of game 1.
Why?
I actually don't remember. Did anything crazy happen?
What day was that? I don't think so.
That was on Monday, Tuesday?
No. I was at home. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing crazy. You were. Yeah, because I wanted to watch it with you.
Oh, it was game 2.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Anyway, stats for game 2. Celtics had 105 points to the Mavs 98. So a 7-point win there. A lot closer than the first game. So I think that's what... we did see the Mavs improve offensively, especially in that second game, especially shooting-wise, I think. From 3, Actually, no. Sorry, am I thinking of the first game? Because they shot 6 for 24, which is just shocking.
Not good.
Not good at all.
But also the Celtics didn't shoot well either. But it just goes to show that through that, the style that they play, you need to make them pay when they're not hitting their threes. And Dallas didn't do that. And so the Celtics still continued to power through. And again, the defense, even though they put up 98 points, the defense, we talk about how Jason Tatum hasn't been scoring at the level he usually does, but he was defending well, rebounding and playmaking.
Playmaking especially.
And an elite level during the game. And we saw Drew Holiday rise up, which I love to see as a Bucks fan. Brings a tear to my eye. Come back, Drew. But no, but yeah, I always root for Drew. So it was great to see him have a 26 point.
28, wasn't it?
It was 26, 14 boards.
11 boards.
11 boards on over 75% from the field.
Yeah, 78.
Yeah, I think, crazy stat line. Over 75% from the field is insane, especially in a finals game. You're feeling the pressure, and he just managed to convert when the Celtics needed him to end a Dallas run or to continue the momentum for them. You know, he was nailing the three. He was hitting the layups, bullying the smaller guys from the Mavericks.
He's a sturdy man.
He's solid. Yeah.
He doesn't fall over very easily, and that's what makes him such a good defender as well. And we saw that, was it in game 1? No, it was last series where he had that steal to clinch the game against Indiana, or was that in game 1? But he fell over and then got an on-ball steal and won the game for him.
I can't remember specifically.
I can't remember. It was very reminiscent of 2021.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
The value-oop.
Without the lob at the end, I think he got an easy layup or dunk. Probably not a dunk, but probably a layup. But did you know that all of Drew's points were assisted? Not one of them were created on his own. Yeah. And a big part of that was Jason Tatum as well. And really, like Jaylen Brown as well, 7 assists. And everyone who played except for Sam Hauser got an assist. So
shout out Sam Hauser.
Shout out Sam Hauser.
Well, I mean, when he gets the ball, he's shooting it.
Yeah.
That's his job.
Shot 0%, but
yeah, that's his role.
But next game, I think it will have an increased role, which we'll get into.
We will.
But so the headlines for game 2 were, of course, Drew Holiday 26, 11 and 3. Derek White 18 points, 5 rebounds, 5 stocks, 3 steals, 2 blocks. Jaylen Brown, who, do you want to get into so far? If the series ended right now, would Jaylen Brown be your?
Yeah, he would be. I think so, because
consistency.
Yeah, consistency for me currently. I know Jason Tatum's the favorite, and he's due for a big game. Yeah, of course. But I think, so far Jaylen Brown's been the firepower and amazing defensively as well. They've all been pretty good defensively, especially Jaylen Brown. And I also want to talk about the main major point that I've seen on TikTok online, and that is was the last Mavericks possession a foul? Was it a foul on PJ Washington?
Trying to think about what play this was.
When he was on the fast break, went to dunk the ball, and Derek White and Jaylen Brown blocked it.
Oh, no. Oh, are they saying a Jaylen Brown foul?
No, Derek White. They said they hit his wrist.
That was a block.
Yeah, I think so.
A hand is a block. No foul if you hit the hand. I'm pretty sure you hit the hand.
There. I don't know. I'll bring out the picture.
The refs were very consistent throughout the first 2 rounds. I didn't mind the
and in the playoffs they're gonna, especially the finals, they're not gonna blow their whistle as often. So
no, physicality was there, and it's good. I think that benefits the Celtics as well because they're all such physical defenders, especially Drew Holiday. I think that's a big reason why Kyrie Irving hasn't been good. So in the second game, he had 16 points on 38% shooting. A better game, but just Drew Holiday's hounding defense. I was watching Drew's defensive highlights on him and just didn't give him an inch. He'd fight over screens where Kyrie wasn't able to get a mismatch on a taller defender. And that unlocked everything for the Celtics as well. So.
Yeah, not letting Kyrie, a veteran player and a staple of the offense, to get comfortable at all.
Not at all. Just in his face the entire time, just pushing him around. So
my internet's not loading. But anyway, I thought it was a block.
You thought it was a block?
Yeah, you're not going to call that as a ref. It's just good defense.
It was. And Derek should get the benefit of the doubt as well because he's just a great defender.
And let's be honest, the Celtics were still in the pole position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much were they up at that point?
I think it was at least 3. Pretty sure.
Yeah. Because the Mavs didn't have any runs really, which was another big thing. The Celtics just didn't let them get on a roll really whatsoever. So I missed the first quarter, but that was when the Mavs' biggest run was. They had a 7-point run at 8 minutes 19 in the first. And then the Celtics' biggest run was 14 points in the last quarter. So the last 3 minutes and 34 seconds when you need it the most. So
exactly.
Just pulled out ahead. I do
Clutch
actually
factor.
remember that. Yeah. 12 lead changes, so it was a lot closer than the first game. But with my prediction, I think if the Celtics win the next game, I don't think the Mavericks will get the last one either. I think the Celtics will just finish it off.
That's fair enough because the morale's so low, no one's ever come back 3-0, ever, especially in the finals. So yeah, I can see what you're saying, but I think crucial game, but I think the Mavericks can pull it off. I feel like with the first game being pretty much a blowout, the next game they're working their way back. Yes, the Celtics shot badly, but the game was a lot closer, more competitive, and they're going to be at home. So yeah, if they're going to win a game, it's going to be the next game.
Next game.
Yeah.
It needs to be.
It needs to be to keep the series alive.
So what is your key for the Dallas Mavericks going forward? If you had to change one thing, not even change one thing, but if you could grant a spell.
Yeah, I was going to say it's hard because, if Jason Kidd hasn't figured it out, I don't think we're going to figure it out.
No. I think we can just sit down for a
just
couple
sit
hours.
down and just watch some film. But yeah, no, I just think, Kyrie needs to get going. Luka playmaking, you got to allow that somehow. I know that the Celtics defense is suffocating.
I think the key to unlock Luka playmaking is Kyrie Irving.
You think so?
Because if Kyrie gets his shot going, then or just it's hard.
But also Kyrie in the first couple games is trying to I think it also has to do with the crowd. Tried to force a lot of shots, and we saw him have a few turnovers, mess up some handles, which as the greatest ball handler in history, in my opinion, I think that's pretty unanimous at this point, or AI, but
I would say.
But yeah, it's one of the greatest ball handlers in history. You don't see that too often, especially especially as a clutch player as well. People recognize him as a clutch player. So yeah, it's just the pressure. But yeah, I get what you're saying, that it's hand in hand, that one going with the other going, which will get the offense going, which will give them the best chance possible to win this game.
Mm-hmm. The more attention you can grant to more people, the harder it's going to be.
And underrated factor, the crowd. I feel like the Mavs crowd need to give the same energy back to the Celtics as what the Mavericks were getting. I know it's hard because the Celtics are such
they might be the best. Yeah, they might be the best basketball home crowd in the world.
But the Mavs got to do their best, because otherwise, I just feel like the momentum's not there.
I think so as well. And before we talk about next game, we should definitely get into the Porzingis injury first, because that is the biggest factor going into next game. So I remember watching it. Do you remember seeing him get a bit tweaked? I think it might have been in the third quarter, where you sort of saw him go down. He was down for a couple seconds. Saw him, on the baseline, fell over for a couple seconds. Didn't get back on defense because I'm pretty sure it was on offensive play. And then just hobbled a little bit, but I didn't think it was anything much. But apparently it requires surgery in 90% of cases. So
really,
Porzingis suffered a torn, I'll try and not completely stuff this up, a torn medial retinaculum.
What does that mean? English, please.
Retinaculum, allowing dislocation of the posterior tibialis tendon in his left leg. So a torn medial, whatever that is, allowing dislocation.
Medial, is that like in here?
It's ankle, sort of.
Oh, ankle.
It's like sort of down here, I think, more.
Strange. Yeah.
I looked up the tibialis tendon, and I think it's like the front one here. But anyway, it's a calf injury. It's a calf injury. Calf injury. Yeah. So it's a rare injury, and the upcoming games will be determined day to day. But it is very unlikely that he will be out. That he'll be playing next game.
Back. Yeah.
But a quote from him himself that he would die on the court if it meant winning a championship. So,
but then again, it comes to a point where you don't know if it's better playing a healthy player rather than him on one leg,
or whether it's going to ruin your career as well. Because
exactly, but I mean the finals that makes your career.
Yeah, but would you? This is a good. Would you rather?
Would you rather?
Would you rather
win the finals
on an injury, and it's purely you win the finals because you played on your injury,
but then your career's pretty much over.
But then your career's over, or you sit this one out,
and you possibly come back,
which you probably will. Finals. You probably the Boston Celtics, you probably will.
I'm securing it. I'm playing. I'm winning the finals,
but you will never play again.
I don't care. I'm a champ.
You never play again.
I'm a champ.
But down the road, you could win 2 more championships.
That's a big if. We know how the league is these days. Well, if you got the chance, you got to take it. So, like, I see where he's coming from. That'd be my. What would your answer be?
Yeah, I would.
It's right there. Like, just gonna take it.
I would sit it out because I just.
No, I think no. Like, I
would sit it out.
I don't know the severity, like how painful it is, but. Yeah, I'd say at least a game, and then see how it goes.
Okay, yeah. We're talking in realism now, like you were.
Yeah. We're talking hypotheticals before.
Yeah. Okay, in realism, I think just sit it. I think sit this game and see how the game goes, how the offense looks, how the defense looks without Porzingis, because he's one of the best. He is the best shot blocker in the series so far.
Yeah, I was gonna say gives PJ and Daniel Gafford and Lively a chance to make some more shots. I think Lively had 2 points. I know he doesn't play like a whole bunch of minutes, but you can see the presence of Porzingis. They don't want to go inside there. They kept getting rejected, kept getting packed. I was waiting for one to be called a foul. Like, not because it was a foul, but like, because he's blocking with such precision on every single attempt. It's like, wow, they're really trying this over and over and it was not working. So they eventually got scared of going in for it.
Yeah.
And that lowered their efficiency. And when you're not shooting as efficient as the Celtics are, because they shoot threes, it's over. Yeah.
Yeah. I was also looking at stats today. It was Dallas Mavericks. They're in the top 20 percentile of, I would just say they're one of the best teams in terms of frequency of inside points as well, how they generate their points. Most of it comes from the inside. A lot of it's off of Luka Doncic pick and roll alley-oops or off-ball alley-oops. But the fact that the Celtics have completely limited that when they rely on it so much is no good for the Dallas Mavericks. You need to find a way to score inside. And I think maybe Porzingis sitting it out gives them a chance. I think maybe he's one of the most important. Well, I think he's at least the top 3 most important players that the Boston Celtics will have, or have on their roster, a healthy roster. He'd be a top 3 with inside presence, because first of all, it's very rare. It's the reason why they call him the uniform, to have that much of an outside presence, a shooting presence. Be so good inside as well. As we said, the mid-range shot is so good. Around the block is really improved. I think we saw that when he went to Washington. Something about his game completely transformed, where he was more of an inside presence.
But people just weren't watching because it's Washington.
Yeah, exactly. And everyone was probably underrating the trade entirely because he was on a team like the Wizards. Shout out to the Wizards. But
Yeah, it's crazy how Porzingis and Kyrie both played for the opposition.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen too often.
No. And I also, speaking of the Wizards and NBA Finals, did you know that stat about how a Wizards player has been on every single, or like a previous Wizard has been on every single Finals team since like the 80s or something?
Crazy.
Crazy.
But they haven't won.
No, but they just produce really good talent. Or just that talent passes through there at least once in their career.
Yeah.
But there you've got Daniel Gafford on the Dallas Mavericks. So regardless of the teams,
it's
they're going to have another Wizards. So the trend's going to continue.
Who is it for the Bucks? I'm trying to think.
For the Bucks, was Robin on that team 2021?
I don't think he was. Pretty sure. Because he was there and then he left and he came back.
Sorry, I beg my pardon.
What was the stat?
Daniel Gafford and Kristaps Porzingis mark the 8th year of ex-Wizards in NBA Finals. So it's only 8 years, and it's the fact that they're in the Finals, which actually isn't that like crazy.
That's pretty
because
cool.
Because there are plenty of journeymen in the league.
I mean, it's not as cool as a player winning it every year since 1980s.
Yeah. I don't know where I blew that out of proportion, but
absolute cap.
What do you think? Back to the Porzingis injury. What do you think it means for Dallas? Do you think that they can, like, how should they take advantage of the fact that Porzingis is out? Because we've seen Porzingis out for the last 30 days, and the Boston Celtics have just run through the Eastern Conference. So, what do you think? Big difference, or
yes? Well, obviously, the offense needs to work on feeding Gafford. He's an efficient scorer. And PJ Washington, they just need to get inside. It's not too, I don't think it's too complicated. They just need to get inside and they need to score. Stop getting blocked and score.
I've got a good stat though.
What is it?
That I also saw earlier because I was looking at this like matchup and why the Dallas Mavericks haven't been scoring as well as they probably should. The Horford lineup. So the lineup without Porzingis in it. Why'd you roll your eyes?
The Bucks and Al Horford have history. No, I'm kidding. Because he's like, I don't have anything against Al Horford, but he's older.
Yeah.
I feel like they should be able to.
You got a problem with him?
No, I just feel like they should be able to score on him.
Yeah, it's deceiving.
I feel like they should.
Deceiving, but I guess having such experience in the league as well. But
what's the stat?
The stat is that first of all, that Horford lineup without Porzingis has the biggest point differential in the playoffs, but obviously they have the biggest sample size. But it also that lineup limits the points generated in the paint for any opposing team. So that lineup, that 5-man lineup where it's Derek White, Drew Holiday, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Al Horford, limits the most inside points generated out of any team in the playoffs. So I don't know if we're going to get that much contrast in terms of points generated inside, which is where Dallas get most of their points.
It has to be. If you're the Mavericks, it has to be, because if you're not doing it this game, you're not doing it any other game, and because that provides such like you're saying, a major part of their offense, well, that's just gone. You're just not scoring offensively, and then the series is over. So I still say they have to attack as hard. They got to throw everything at it, and that doesn't mean Luka and Kyrie are still gonna. I feel like Kyrie, it's time for him to have a good game. I feel like he's going to have a good game. And Luka's going to be Luka. But the bigs of that team, they need to make an inside presence, because right now they're getting blocked every second shot and they're just not creating a presence inside. They're being completely dominated.
They need to switch it around as well, I think, and they need to show their 3-point presence as well, because we've seen players really go off from three. As much as you might clown me for this, I think Maxi Kleber is very important in this series, because we spoke about it.
He did hit a few shots last game, I think.
I think he hit a couple, but we've seen him completely turn games around for the Mavericks because he's been an outside presence, which is really what they need. If they can play five out, if they can play the Celtics game and 5 out,
switch it back on him.
Let I called Ducha Loncic. If if they can let Luka isolate, they can let Kyrie isolate, collapse the defense, and they hit shooters that actually hit shots. Because from the corner, they haven't been bad. It's top of the arc threes. So
get Dante Exum on the court.
Dante had a very decent. He hit
That's what I'm saying. Get
he
on the
hit
court.
1 3, 1 for 1, played 10 minutes, but it was a very important three.
Green.
And Josh Green, because Josh Green should be important in this series. I think Tim Hardaway, I think you at this point you could gamble and play him. He didn't play a minute last game, and that's because he just can't keep up defensively. He's not a good enough defensive player. But when they need scoring and when they need a player that they can kick out to and actually will hit a shot.
If it's game 3 tomorrow and they're down and you got to throw everything and see what sticks, because like you said, if they lose tomorrow, it's as good as over.
Yeah, and I think that comes with sacrificing defensive presence, because it's not like the Celtics have scored over 110 points, which they usually do. They've scored about 105, 107 both in between the games. And I think you could sacrifice, you could let them score 115, and if that came along with you also generating more points, if you got Tim Hardaway minutes, and if you threw minutes at players that were hitting shots, it might sound too simple when I say that, but I think it probably is that simple. You just gotta throw minutes to players that are hitting shots.
You do. Sometimes you need to break it down. It seems harder than it actually is, but yeah, if someone's on fire, keep them on the floor. Simple. If someone's not hitting shots, maybe try something different.
If Tim Hardaway comes out tomorrow, they play him and he scores over 15 points, we need to make a bet. Because I want to bet Tim Hardaway. No, I'd bet Tim Hardaway.
Put the money where the mouth is.
I'd bet Tim Hardaway 10 plus points. Because I think they're going to play him, and that's my prediction. This isn't based on anything. I think they'll play him. I think
Tim Hardaway 10 plus points. What are you going to put on it?
$10 for 10 points.
Okay.
Shake on it.
You guys are witnessing this.
That it's risky for me. So maybe
it is.
Should the reward be bigger for me if I get it right?
Okay, 2010.
I like that.
Okay.
I like that. Nice. If he scores 10 points.
You're confident. You seem confident.
I am. I think even though they didn't play, I don't think they didn't play him last game at all. But I think if they've got to do something.
They do. That's what I was saying. Yeah, you got to see what sticks.
What do we think? We've spoken a little bit about next game. Do you want to make like a game by game prediction? Just quickly, game by game. What do you think will happen?
Okay, so I think tomorrow. I think Celtics get on top early. I think people think the series is over, but I think the crowd, Kyrie gets going, and the high efficiency in the paint leads the Mavericks to a close-ish win. I'm going to say like that 5 to 10 point range. They're going to win. Mavs will win. Keep it alive. And then I think, will Porzingis come back? I can't really predict that. Let's say,
I wouldn't bet on it personally.
No,
and he won't be the player that he.
But I think that the Celtics. Have you seen the clip of Joe Mazzulla like recounting everything that happened in the game? He just seems so locked. So I think even if the Mavericks do surprise them with changing things up, and that could be beneficial, and I think it will get them a win tomorrow, hopefully. I think the Celtics will adjust.
Agreed.
And they're so good at adjusting.
Great. That's something I wanted to bring up as well. Yeah.
That they'll take 4 and then back home they'll take 5, 4-1. Yep, that's me.
Nice. I think it's going to be a sweep. I think next game it'll be. I
think the surprise factor, you got to bank on it, and I think it could, like, you've got Luka, you have Curry, they've been so good these playoffs. I feel like you can't come.
But do you know what I've got? I've got money on the fact that it's going to be a sweep, so I'm not switching it up.
True,
I got to be biased with it, and I believe it. I think that it's going to be next to. So
come and clown him when. Well, I don't know when this will come out, but clown him either way.
Try and push it out tomorrow.
Okay. Depending on work.
Yeah, true. Yeah, so I think that's all we've got for finals talk at the moment. Now we'll just get into some little bits and pieces. Like the Lakers head coach.
Lakers head coach.
Superstar college coach makes shock $109 million call on Lakers gig. Sorry, he turns it down. $109 million.
That's more than I thought it was.
Hey, whoa. I did not mean that. My bad. So I don't know what the headline was on about. It was that is not the details. Let's start again. Obviously the Lakers threw Dan Hurley, who is the UConn coach. Yeah, you're on there. UConn coach who's won back-to-back titles for his team.
Mm-hmm. Great coach.
They threw him a $70 million six-year contract.
Yeah.
So he's turned that down. If you're in his situation, what are you doing?
I'm taking it.
You're taking the 70 mil?
Yeah.
Money on the line?
I don't know how much he makes at the moment. I don't know if that's public knowledge. But he's won 2 championships. I get, like, I know, like, you'd want to go for the three-peat, but at the end of the day, I don't know if has he coached NBA before?
No.
I feel like you just want to add it to your resume. Well, that's how I would view it.
But you're not the coach if you join LA. You're just not. And when you're such an important team on a 2-time championship team.
Take away LeBron's rights. Take away the GM rights.
They're banking on LeBron being on the team. Nothing has come out, but maybe that is a factor on why he turned it down. And maybe that's just some inside
congratulations, JJ Redick. You are now the coach of the Los Angeles Lakers.
I think so as well.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen.
Which is sad because I love his podcast and I love his commentary as well because he's so insightful. But
yeah, and that basically means congratulations, LeBron. You're the coach of the Los Angeles Lakers,
like you have been for the last 6 years. But
yeah, pretty much.
So, see what
How old is JJ Redick?
We can pull out of this. Well, he retired 2 years ago.
How old is JJ?
My guess is 39. Hey Siri, how old is JJ Redick?
39.
Bang. Yeah, he's 1 year older than LeBron, but have you watched his podcast?
I don't know. That feels weird.
He's a smart dude. He knows the game.
Yeah, I have listened to his podcast, and I know, of course, he's a student of the game. Master of the game. But I feel like it just makes it that much more obvious if he is the coach that LeBron is just like
they're podcast partners first.
Exactly. It seems like they're friends, not boss worker. Well, not like NBA players are workers, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, so
he'd be the boss. Like it's like a friend relationship. Like they're both the coaches, and then the players are there, which would be weird. But
it would.
I mean, I'd see JJ succeed. He's a good player.
Yeah,
played for the Bucks. Played for the Sixers.
Did he play for the Bucks?
He did
early.
Yep.
Oh.
From the Magic to the Bucks.
Oh, he did, didn't he?
Back in the Christmas tree color days. The red, green, and white. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
That's ball knowledge. Hoop
That's
grids.
Bucks knowledge.
That's hoop grids.
That's hoop grids. Coming soon. Coming next
Anyway,
episode.
yeah.
But
I think he'll get it because
I think he'll get it. He's the front runner. Yeah. Personally, if I'm Dan Hurley, people will just have priorities.
I thought JJ Redick was still the front runner, and then they offered Dan Hurley. I saw they'd offered Dan Hurley that.
I think Dan Hurley was definitely...
I just that's what I thought was going to happen.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, oh, they offered, like, I didn't know they were going to do that, but...
Yeah, I didn't know about Dan, but Dan's a
more
freak.
Established coach.
Definitely.
And I'm sure JJ would rather be coaching the Lakers than the Hornets, like people were saying he was going to be.
100%.
What's the youngest coach in NBA history? That's something that I'm
Could it be
wondering.
Borrega?
I don't know.
No. It might be the Dayton was very young, but it wouldn't be Dayton. It'd be like someone in history.
I'm wondering where would JJ Redick stack up against that?
I reckon you might have a 30-year-old somewhere in there. So we've got some young ones. So Magic was player coach. Magic.
Oh, player coach. Doesn't count.
But that's not even the youngest. But I just wanted to throw that out there. Maybe if...
What about modern era? Like where does it get like?
Ryan Saunders, 33 years old. Coached the Timberwolves from 2018 to 2021.
Yeah. Okay. I don't
Only
know. I didn't realize he
33.
was that young.
So he's younger than like a lot of NBA players. That'd
Yeah.
be weird.
Yeah.
being led
Exactly.
by
I feel like
a
it's
dude
hard
that's
to
younger than
gain
you.
respect and
You have to, but
yeah, you have to.
and I feel like you have to have
I
that
feel
sort
it's
of
a bit- I feel like
personality
it's
as
a
a
bit
head
more
coach.
buddy than
Depends how
coach
you come across as a
players.
coach, because you can be.
Sure.
I've met some dudes that are like 20 years old that I would take orders from.
me.
Not you. You take
on.
orders from me,
Come
but
on, bro.
I'm saying
Not true.
like people that I have met are like so I see where that sort of you can be authoritarian. I don't know if that's the word, but yeah, JJ Redick, welcome to the Los Angeles Lakers. Big pay increase, so good on you.
Yeah,
But I'm sad that your podcast is gone. Most likely, both of
most
them.
likely.
You got some games.
We
got some games.
How many games do you have?
I've got one game.
I've got 2.
So we'll go
can
you,
do-
then me, then you.
Okay. So I'll do
Who's laughing?
because you just like have an outburst of come on. I'll do the game that I'm less excited for first, and I'll do the one that I'm more excited for after. Okay, so this
Good on
is
suspense.
just a blind ranking.
Nice.
Blind rank these NBA signature shoes, and I've got pictures in case you didn't know what they all look like.
Who do you think I am? You definitely got these in.
They're not in there. So first up, I have the LaMelo Ball MB1s. So those are the first LaMelos.
Are we going by colorway? Can we go by colorway, or what are we doing?
Just the shoe in general.
the shoe in general. I'm gonna go off my favorite colorway. The mismatch. I do like the mismatched LaMelos. I don't like as much the purple blue ones, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna go. I think. I'm gonna go number 4 in terms of preference.
Number 4. Yeah. And next up, we have the LeBron 19s.
Heavy ass shoes,
Bricks.
bricks of things.
They are.
What year is that? The 22s are out now, aren't they? 21s.
I don't even know, to be honest. The LeBron, they're just stuck in my head as a heavy LeBron shoe that I want to put in there.
Yeah. So LeBron 19s was 2021,
Yeah.
and it just reminds me of Space Jam.
Sure.
Because those are the shoes he wore in the movie, and I know that there is a colorway, a Space Jam colorway.
I have one here, but yeah.
I would cop that as a collector's item, but
But the shoe as a whole.
for the shoe as a whole, but
Yeah, that one.
yeah, I feel like I'd be screwing up if I put it lower than the Mellows, because I feel like you're gonna throw a really bad one in there.
Oh, yeah.
So my list has already been stuffed up, but it's a sacrifice. So I'm putting it number 3.
3. LeBron's over the LaMelos.
Yeah.
And then next up, we have one that I have, the Paul George 3s.
The PG3s.
These are the ones I wear playing. I need to get some new ones. Recommendations, leave them down below.
PGs are really good.
In
PGs
general, I
are
think
really
they're
comfortable.
really good.
I like the PG ones probably most out of any PG. They're just such classics.
Yeah. But the
PG
threes,
threes,
where are you putting them?
they're really good shoes. Number 2, better than LeBron's, better than the Mellows, I would say. So I've got 1 and 5 left, so I got to pick really wisely.
Yeah. Then we have the Embiid Under Armours.
Number 5.
Number 5, Embiid.
I'm good with
Your
putting it number
favourite.
5. He's not even with Under Armour anymore.
Come on.
He's with Skechers, so
You don't respect it. You don't respect the Under Armour
I wouldn't buy
ones.
those shoes. I would not buy those shoes.
You would
Good
not.
good for him. Probably got paid the bag, but
And then number 1 on the list, we have
Bro.
the Anthony Edwards ones,
I really like that.
which I respect.
I really like my list. That is really good. Is that lows or highs though?
Which one do you prefer?
I like the lows.
You can take whatever.
I like the lows. So that's a good
That's
list.
the first time you've gotten a good list in a while. So
Yeah, that's a good list.
job.
So this game, it's a little bit difficult. It might not be a TikTok, but it might be like a
Yeah, I'm
video.
fine with that.
But
I'm fine with that.
so I would still do a TikTok introduction just in case.
Yep.
Guess the NBA player by their best teammate every year.
Wow. Okay. I'm ready.
So how we're going to do this is I'll tell you the year they're drafted.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you the player that played the best player on that team that year.
That they got drafted to.
Yeah, and then every single year. So I'll give you a guess on the first one. So
and then it just keeps going, and then you tell me.
So it keeps going. I'll give you a year every single time.
This is cool idea.
So this guy's drafted in 2007, where his best teammate was Pau Gasol.
Pau Gasol, 2007. I've heard it's the era that I'm least versed in, like the mid 2000s.
This wasn't one
Pau
of
Gasol. So 2007, he's still on the Lakers. Then
this guy, he's still playing.
Okay, that ruled out who I was gonna guess.
Okay,
2007. Who's that old? They got drafted to the Lakers.
It's like 35 years old. Around. If you don't want to, you can skip this one.
Yeah,
and I'll give you the next year.
Know.
So 2007, Pau Gasol. 2008, Rudy Gay.
Oh, so it's on the Grizzlies. Okay.
Pau Gasol, Grizzlies.
This still could be a number of people. But is it Mike Conley?
No. That's a good guess, though.
I mean, he was on the Grizzlies. And 2007 kind of matches the timeline for... He's probably a bit younger than that, but maybe a couple of years. But yeah, give me the next one.
2009 was a trade year for him.
Okay.
So it was Rudy Gay and Yao Ming.
So he went from that. Okay, I know who this is now.
Who is it?
Big booty Kyle Lowry.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Good. So you got it on 3.
I'm not bad with the trades, but yeah, the start, I thought I thought he was to the Lakers by then. It would have been close to that.
I think a little bit early for that.
Yeah, a little bit early. Jumped the gun a bit.
But yeah, so you got it on the 3rd year. That's really
nice.
good.
I'll take that.
Player 2 was 2007 as well. Okay. 2007. His best teammate was Chris Bosh.
Chris Bosh, 2007. Chris Bosh is on the Raps. It's not DeMar, is it?
No.
No, I was throwing it out. I didn't know what it was.
Next, 2008, he was overseas. Raptors then overseas.
Is it active?
Yes.
They're active.
Yep.
PJ Tucker.
Bang.
Yes, sir.
Number 2. You see, I
never forget my boys are on the Bucks.
I was going to give you 5 years and then force you to make a guess. Because it was overseas for 5 years and then Goran Dragic for the Suns in 2013.
No, I just know that he was on the
Raptors.
Yeah, Raptors, and then he's been overseas.
Yeah.
So that's where my mind went.
Good thought process. Player number 3. So we got 4 in total. Player number 3, another 2007.
They're all 2007.
Yeah, I was thinking of earlier players to sort of fuck you up a bit. 2007, Carlos Boozer. This one's a little bit harder.
Is that... Oh, yeah, Carlos Boozer has been around a couple teams. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking that's the Jazz. Taking through the thought process here. I'm thinking that's the early Jazz. Active player?
No.
No.
But recently retired, I'll say that. Shouldn't have said that.
I'm trying to think the order of things. It's not Rudy Gay, is it?
No.
Okay. Yeah, give me the next year.
Carlos Boozer. 2007 Carlos Boozer. 2008 Carlos Boozer.
That didn't give me anything. Recently retired. Assuming it was the Jazz. Could not be. Nah, I'm going to have to skip that one. Skip.
2009, Darren Williams.
So this is the Jazz. I'm drawing a blank.
As I said, this is a bit harder. You won't get it. You might not get it until the midway through his career, sort of.
Yeah. Okay. No, I don't have a guess.
So I'm gonna keep fucking you up here. 2010 Carlos Boozer. So Boozer, okay. Darren Williams, Boozer.
So he's in Utah for more than a couple of years. He's retired. Recently retired. The mid 2000s to late 2000s Jazz is just, I don't know, it's a blank spot in my mind.
Fun team, but you can only, like, I could only list the first 3 or 4 players on the roster. At this point, he wasn't a top 3 player, I would say. He definitely did by the end of his Jazz.
I know it's too young for him. I'm just going to say Gordon Hayward, but I know it's not him.
And retired as well.
Yeah, true.
Do you want the next year?
Yes, I do. I need it.
Darren Williams. So it's Boozer, Darren Williams, Boozer, Darren Williams.
So is it for ages? It wasn't.
But you probably won't. I'll give you a little clue.
Okay.
He's not most known for his Utah stint. He was never the best player on Utah, but he was the best player on another team.
I just think through I'm visual, so I'm trying to think of like people in jerseys, like who was on the early 2010s Jazz.
And those dirty jersey looking ones, like the real.
I'm trying to think. I don't know if this lines up either, but is it Joe Johnson?
No. You want the next one a little bit something different?
Yeah, give me something different.
So Boozer, Darren Williams, 2012 Al Jefferson.
So he's gone to I think the Hornets. I know Al Jefferson was also on the Hornets. No, not on the Hornets. Where did Al Jefferson play? I'm not real well versed in Al Jefferson. I don't.
Can you think about teams that Al Jefferson has been on in his career?
Not really. The Hornets.
The Utah
the
Jazz.
Bobcats.
He's still on Utah.
He's still in Utah.
Yeah.
But had he spent so long here and then not what was his long career?
Recently retired.
Recently retired. I feel like I'm being dumb. I feel like it's just
No, it's not that easy, but
recently retired, was there for a long time.
And was the best player on his team at one point.
Best player. No, I don't have anything. Next.
Team as well.
I'm gonna have it.
Al Jefferson is the next year. Do you want me to go to the next one?
Yes, give me the next player.
So it's Boozer, Darren Williams, Al Jefferson, Al Horford.
So this is either the Hawks. This is the Hawks. The Hawks. Best player on the team. No. It's not Paul Millsap, is it?
I saw you under your breath go, Paul. Yes, it's Paul Millsap. So he was an all-star on the Atlanta Hawks. The next guesses were Horford, Teague, Schroeder, Jokic.
I would have got it after you kept doing the Hawks. Yeah.
I thought when we got to the Hawks,
I knew he played Jazz, but I didn't.
It's not something you see. It's not something you visualize with him. So yeah.
Yeah, and it just didn't pop to my mind when I thought of recently retired players. It didn't come to my head.
Last one's a little bit easier as well.
Oh yeah.
Player 4, drafted in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
Ty Lawson.
Jokic.
No. 2014
That's
is Jokic.
Well, that's true. Yeah, next year, mate.
Gallinari.
Well, he was Jamal drafted. I just want to waste my guesses. But I'm going to go Jamal. Jamal Murray. Okay. I feel like that'd be too easy.
Jokic 2017.
Yeah, so they're still on the Nuggets. They active? They have to be active.
Yep.
No, I don't know. Skip.
2018, Damian Lillard.
Okay, so they've gone from the Nuggets to the... Okay. No, do I know who it is? I thought I knew who it was for a second. Am I just messing up the order of what I thought they did? Ty Lawson. Okay, no, I know who it is. It's Yusuf Nurkic.
Bang.
But
who did you think it was?
I questioned if it was Jeremy Grant for a second. I know he was
just last year he went to
but yeah, in my head I just went like Nuggets and Blazers.
Yeah,
and
who were the players? I thought you would have picked Will Barton when I said, because I'm pretty sure 2015 was also Will Barton. So I thought you might have guessed that. But yeah, that was a game.
Nice. Okay, now we got.
I think that could work as a TikTok as well.
Yeah, it took long in a second to Can you name the NBA odd man out? So I've got 10 players here and you have to try and find who the odd man out is and then tell me why.
Yeah, it is actually. I'm trying to go like a 50-50 sort of one. Is this player, was their prime in the Eastern Conference?
Yes. Yes, it was.
Did this player play in the 2000 like post 2000s?
Post 2000s. Correct. They did. Yes, they did.
Play in the post 2000s.
They played post 2000s.
I do want to knock out one.
At least.
That's going to be my game plan.
Yeah.
And then I got to think about why.
Why? Think of all the players you've knocked out.
How do I sing with it? Okay, well, but then I want it to be between. I want to eliminate either LeBron or Giannis. That's my game plan. Was this player in? Was this? Jesus, that's a weird question. Was this player in Space Jam? Like there isn't just one player.
No, this player is not in Space Jam. Who is the odd man out?
Okay. It's Giannis, RJ. Were the rest of them Hall of Famers? I know there were a bunch of Hall of Famers.
No, but just tell me who you think the player is.
I think it's RJ.
It was Giannis. Giannis is the odd man out. You know I would pick Giannis.
Why was he the odd man out?
You don't know?
Wait, can I see the list? Can you
deleted
undo?
it.
Can you shake to undo?
Why is Giannis?
What was the first
Why is
question?
Giannis the odd man out? It's a bit difficult, I will say. I didn't want to start too easy for you.
Well, ethnic player, born outside of the US.
That may be correct, but that's not the reason that he was there. Think about what these players have accomplished.
Team USA or one world title.
Does KCP and RJ throw you off? Because think about what they've done. What have they done in their careers?
RJ played for the Warriors and won a championship with the Warriors as well. But
he did.
But these players didn't.
And then he played for the Cavs.
Is it anything to do with the fact that he's played on the Warriors as well?
Yes and no.
Multiple finals appearances.
That's the answer. Giannis is the only player with only one finals appearance on the list. The rest have multiple.
Nice.
I thought the KCP and RJ threw you off because KCP's in the finals.
KCP threw me off a little bit as well with that.
Yeah, 2-time champ.
Nice.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for tuning in to episode 17 of the Pick and Roll podcast. We'll be back next week.
We will be.
To review the NBA. Well, what do you reckon? Are we going to do an episode? Well, it depends on how the series goes.
Exactly.
If it's a sweep, then you'll have an episode sooner. If it's not a sweep, then you might have a bit of a later episode. But we'll definitely do a big review there. Tune in for the NBA draft episode as well. Live stream. We're gonna
please get around it.
Definitely. We haven't done a live stream yet, so if you want to tune in, see how that goes, definitely join and ask questions, whatever you want. Just
call us casuals, yeah.
We'll have a bit of fun there. So, some stuff to look forward to. Please leave a like on the episode. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. If you're on Spotify, leave a 5-star rating and follow. And until next time, adios.
See ya.